Did you know that lower vibrational energies and spirits actually hover above bars and places that people are drinking? And when
guy's drinking, and the spirit keeps jumping at him, and he is claiming to be the devil.
Not to be all woo-woo, but alcohol literally gave me demons. When I was drinking and struggling with addiction, I got sleep paralysis every single night. And
can spirits of the deceased and demons enter you? They can when you give them an opening.
Make sure you believe in a higher power.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and eating me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. This is money coming to me easily. Money coming in and eating me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money coming.
Guy's drinking, and the spirit keeps jumping at him, and he is claiming to be the devil. The girl's calling me, and she's like, hey, you know, so-and-so and such is, they're drunk, and you could hear in the background this evil, spine-chilling fucking laugh. And then they call my name. Because I guess the girl had said, do you want me to call Judy? Because, you know, they were my client. And you hear him do that.
You want me to call Judy?
Judy. Judy. Yes. Judy.
Who I'm talking to right now?
And then he says my name, and I'm like, fuck. Just even now, it's some years later, and it just chills me to the bone.
did you know that lower vibrational energies and spirits actually hover above bars and places that people are drinking? And whenever the humans lose control of their bodies, they can actually jump into the humans and take their bodies for a joyride? Did you notice that when people black out, they don't remember? They might do things out of character. They might feel really bad the next day and detach from their body and their spirit. It's because their spirit actually left their body because they were so intoxicated, they were so poisoned that their soul, their spirit could no longer be there, and another spirit jumps in. It's practically spiritual possession. So when we black out, we're practically getting possessed by a different energy. If you are going to go out, protect yourself, set an intention, anoint yourself with oils, make sure you drink. Don't drink too much, you know, because once you get to that point of intoxication, then you are open for those spiritual possessions. And we don't need to be possessed. We do not consent to that stuff. So keep your soul in alignment. Keep yourself in alignment with your highest good. And pray before you go out. Love you.
Not to be all woo-woo, but alcohol literally gave me demons. When I was drinking and struggling with addiction, I got sleep paralysis every single night. And I'm not exaggerating, it was every single night. But I also was just in a low vibrational state 24/7. My anxiety, my depression, my addiction, I truly think that it left me vulnerable. And I definitely think that something latched onto me. A lot of times, it didn't even feel like my own body. It felt like something else was attached. I constantly just felt very heavy. I did have undiagnosed borderline personality disorder as well at the time, and my alcohol was making everything worse. I was having very frequent episodes of rage and just acting the fuck out all the time, crashing out, being crazy, making decisions that I normally would never do sober. It just was so crazy and so heavy all the time, and I was having this fucking sleep paralysis every single night. Terrifying sleep paralysis, hallucinations, auditory and visual. And I used to be able to break out of my sleep paralysis when I first started getting it. I learned to wiggle my toes and my fingers and everything, but eventually that shit just stopped working. I started reciting the holy prayer in my head over and over again during sleep paralysis because I didn't know what else to do. I'm not religious personally. I'm spiritual. but I don't associate with religion. I am a spiritual girl, and when I got sober, everything stopped. Like, seriously, everything. I haven't had sleep paralysis since I got sober over 3 years ago now, and I used to get it every single day. So that's fucking crazy to me. Like, that definitely, to me, confirms that there was something dark and sinister going on, and that I was just very vulnerable. And now I have no sleep paralysis ever. I don't feel that heavy weight on me, nothing following me in the bed. I definitely think I'm very spiritually protected now. Especially getting sober, I've definitely reconnected with my spirituality. And yeah, not to be dramatic and not to be too woo-woo, but alcohol literally gave me demons.
Liquor, alcohol, is called what?
Spirits.
And the reason it's called that is because when you drink it, it numbs your body. It makes you, go numb in the mind, and it allows these different spirits that are just waiting for a vessel to temper it, to jump in, do some fucked up shit, jump back out. They jump all over the place.
People end up pregnant, killing somebody, hurting somebody, saying something they shouldn't have said.
One of my clients was a girl. She ended up killing her child because she had a possession after a night of drinking.
Two friends and I had rented this house in Mid-City in New Orleans, and we had gotten there. It was our first day. We'd got off this big long flight from Australia, unpacking our bags, bathroom on one side, some bedrooms on the other. So we're kind of unpacking our stuff. Everyone's getting into their bedrooms, and I'm in the front of the house. My friend Adrian is in the back of the house. Okay. And we see our third friend, Emma, walking from the middle of the house into this side bathroom. And she's wearing this long dress. But it looks like our friend Emma, same length hair, kind of same build. She's wearing this really long white dress that we don't remember her packing, and she's just kind of drifting into the bathroom. And we both make eye contact with each other at the different ends of the house. And then we start calling her name. We're like, Emma, what are you doing? What's that dress? What's going on? We follow her into this bathroom that she seems to have gone into. She's not there. And now we're calling her name out because we think she's pulling a prank or something, she's hiding, she's gonna jump out and go, "Bleh!" We call her name, and she comes in from the backyard, not wearing a white dress, and she's just like, "The fuck do you want?"
So the lady that's speaking, she is a well-known goddess who, she talks about tarot, and she also talks about spirituality. So she's telling a story about how a ghost, a spirit, was basically wearing her friend's face. So they saw the spirit, but it looked like their friend, and it disappeared into the bathroom. So y'all remember how I talk about, being at a low vibration whenever you drink alcohol or you partake, you indulge in different substance, you are open. You almost like Swiss cheese, you're open and anything can hitch a ride on you, basically. It's not the same thing because that ghost basically just kind of mirrored what their friend would look like so they can actually see. So it kind of take the form of a person, right? So almost like those mimics that can take the shape of someone, but not necessarily being the actual person. Well, that's kind of how the energy works, basically. So if I'm trying to explain to you what it means to hitch a ride, a spirit hitching a ride on someone, because demons and spirits, not all spirits are demonic or anything like that, but spirits don't have a physical body, right? So that's kind of an example. Spirits don't have a physical body, so they're always looking for something to attach themselves on in order to have a human experience. So for example, we all have a spirit. Once we passed away and the meat sack has remained, our spirit will go wherever it needs to go. So now at that point, depending on if you're trying to come back here or if you are stuck, if you're earthbound, then you can hitch a ride on someone. So for example, I was listening to this story time, and it was about this demon that took over a little boy's body. And now once it took over the little boy's body, they were exorcising him out of the little boy. And one of the guys that was there, and it was one of those the Warren people, what's the name of that, the couple that basically exorcises spirits out of people, and they're the one that kept the Annabelle doll. Anyways, they were doing the exorcism, and the mom of the little boy that was possessed, she had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend basically said, leave the little boy in the middle of the possession. He said, leave the little boy and take me instead. So basically the spirit needs a vessel to hitch a ride in. Now, her story was not the same. The spirit basically just took the face of the friend, basically like just made herself look like the friend to kind of confuse them. But that's kind of how a spirit can actually hitch a ride with someone. You need to invite it in. You don't necessarily have to say, oh, I welcome you in and da-da-da. But if you partake in low vibrational things like drinking alcohol, and God forbid, maybe you get into a car accident and you are at a like near-death experience type stuff, you can bring back a spirit with you. So for example, this is all in my opinion and based on like what I have learned and from like what I've read. If you are in the car and you basically have a near-death experience, but you don't die, right? And you hear people talk about their experience, how they almost died and they could see their body, but then they went back into the body, right? Around that time, you can actually attach yourself, or a spirit can attach itself to you, where you come back into this realm with the spirit attaching itself to you. So for example, in Haiti, we had this young lady named Bebe. So I kept telling you I was going to tell you this story about this young lady named Bebe, who basically, she would get like possessed. And it seems as though like it would happen during a certain time of the day. And whenever she would start getting like, in Haiti, they would try to exorcise the spirit out of her. And and from what I was told, how she was possessed is that she would go to these events. So she would go out with her friends, get drunk, and around the place where she would go to the club, she was much older than I was. Around the place where she was like a real fast girl. Like she was one of those girls in the town that everybody kind of knew that, okay, she gets around, like she gets with everybody. Anyways, around the place where she would go to the club, they would always have this ceremony for like spirits and everything, where people would come and gather together and they will invoke spirits and all that stuff. And while they're leaving the club, these things are happening. Now they're already indulged in alcohol and everything, and during one night they were having activity. She stopped at the place, and it doesn't always happen like that, because the spirits, yes, they come and they are invoked, they are amongst the people and everything, right? But depending on what it is that you're doing, the activity, especially if you're dealing with alcohol, if you already have alcohol in you, then the spirit can hitch a ride with you, especially if you are so open and vulnerable, right? Like your spirit is open and vulnerable. And one night, while her and her friends went partying, they came back, and from there on, she started getting possessed. And the thing that was so weird about her being possessed is that whenever they would try to exorcise it out of her, now they don't have like things like that like they do here, but they definitely use like the crucifix and all those things, right? And they say chant and everything to get that spirit off of her, and it would attack her. That thing was going, I would say, for like 6 years, she would do this. It would be the same exact thing. So what they would do too is that they would take a switch, not a switch, but they would like beat her with it. Like they would beat her with it because they realized that it was helping. Every time they start beating the girl while she was possessed, the spirit will leave her body. And while it's still in her body, so for example, they start beating her up, and before, it took a little while before like the spirit leaves her body, right? But they will start beating her up with the switch, whatever it's a plant that they were using that actually triggered the spirit. But the thing is, she wouldn't feel it. She wouldn't feel the pain, the switch, when she was being hit with it. She wouldn't feel it until the spirit actually leaves her body. So it actually leaves her body once the thing's starting to affect it. It was just like, throwing holy water on someone who's possessed, try to get the demon to react, basically, right? So she would start getting whooping and everything with it, and then the spirit would leave her body, and she would just fall on the floor, she'll cry, and and we always knew that she was there because it was her that came back, because the voice changed. But it was very interesting that the spirit would leave her body every time she was getting a beating and then return back the next day. It always been the same thing. So anyways, so because she was from there on, she actually afterwards, because they spent like almost a year after the spirit left her body. They realized after 6 months, because it used to come like every day around the same time. After 6 months, she went 6 whole months and there was nothing. She never had anything going on with her anymore. So then finally, in Haiti, they have this thing where people would go to the mountains to pray. So they'll go and it's called Jeûne. They'll go to the mountains and they'll bring like their little sack and they'll lay it on the floor to pray. Some people will go and they'll fast for days. They'll stay on the mountain and they just stay there and pray. So she started doing that. She one time actually, where her and her family would go every single day for 6 months straight to the mountains to pray, to make sure that spirit never came back. After she actually was delivered from the spirit that was attached to her, she stopped drinking alcohol because she knew that alcohol was the reason why she attracted that spirit to her. Granted, yeah, she was doing other things too, but alcohol was the reason why she attracted that spirit on her. She stopped drinking alcohol. As a matter of fact, she became such a good person, like day and night. And then she finally ended up marrying a pastor, which, I guess, good for her, right? But she ended up marrying a pastor. She completely changed her life around and all that stuff because she told us stories about what she used to see whenever the spirit took over her body. I don't remember like everything, but I do definitely remember that she said that she was tied up, like she would, like basically in her mind, she was tied up somewhere and she would see a bunch of things, a bunch of people that were not there, and like she would talk to people that were not there, and like not necessarily talking to us, but like in her mind. I don't know if you guys, let me show you like the scene of what I could say. Do you guys watch remember when the locust came, when the boy who his face was slit like from one end to the other, when they were tied up in the rocks? That's basically something like that she saw. Like basically she is in a different area than where she actually was in real life. Anyways, I'm running out of time.
One reason why I don't drink, right? There's many reasons, but that I don't like drinking is because I get demonically possessed, like a full-on possession. And it's not me. And then my body is astral projecting out of my body connected to the silver cord, because my spirit is pure and cannot handle the impurities of alcohol in my system. And so I get fully possessed. So when I'm drunk, I lie, I fucking act stupid, all that stuff. And it's a demon who possesses me. You know what I'm saying? So that's one reason I don't drink. And I used to lie all the time when I was drunk and act stupid, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So I'm untrustworthy when I'm drunk.
Guys, a very easy way that entities will attach themselves or possess people is via alcohol. Think about it. Alcohol is sold everywhere. It's popular in nearly every country, apart from, the Middle East. But it opens you up. You're not in your center. You open up a portal, and that allows these entities to come in and basically host you, basically take you over. And they're telling you in the etymology of the word, the green language of the word, spirits, right? I mean, can it be any obvious than that? Drinking spirits. And actually, alcohol has entities within them. So when you're drinking alcohol, you're drinking entities, believe it or not. We have gin and tonic. A jinn is a demon. Al-Ghul, alcohol, is another demon in Arabic. So all these words are telling us what this stuff does to us. And this is why people completely change their character when they're drunk, because they're not who they are. They've actually, something else has come in and taken over the personality of the person. This is why, many of people's biggest mistakes are when they were drunk, because they weren't really present in their body at the time. And this is why you could be out with Dave and Dave gets really drunk, and then the next morning you'll be like, I can't believe you did that, Dave. You were so different, or he got violent or whatever, right? That's because it wasn't him anymore. This entity came in and took over. And the problem is sometimes they stay attached. I've worked with many people down the years, ex-alcoholics especially, that have very strong attachments, level 2 takeovers, because they've been so out of their head for so long that it allows these stronger attachments come in, and they are harder to get rid of. So yeah, alcohol is a big one, guys. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you would like to work with me, check out the link in my bio. Let me know your experiences below regarding alcohol. I'd like to know, and I'll see you on the next video.
Alcohol means body-eating spirit. It's Aramaic. Okay, alcohol. It's not alcohol, it's alcohol. That's the proper translation. That's why it says spirits. Because when you drink alcohol, it is opening you up to a spiritual realm, allowing demons to enter you. If you're blacked out drunk, bro, alcohol is literally like the purest form of demon possession.
Wow.
Blacked out drunk is like, that's demon possession. And demons aren't used to being in bodies. So when you see somebody drunk, they're like, eh. It's because the demons doesn't walk in a human body like that.
And some people, when they're drunk, they get fighty. They want to fight people.
Because it's a freaking demon in them. It's not even them. In their body, they're fighting something that's fighting them. They've evoked a demon. Okay, what is alcohol? It's rotted juice. It's from the realm of death. It's gonna evoke something in you. And like, bro, it's bringing you into that realm. It's bringing you closer to the realm of dead. And then you start to see stuff. You start to experience things. Or alcohol, you get body-eating spirit. You get demons coming into you, controlling you. And this is what people are like fighting, and they don't realize how many things they're evoking.
Make sure you believe in a higher power, or you might become possessed like her. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, share with 3, or you might become possessed. After a long night of drinking, this woman came home. When she did, she collapsed on the floor. At the beginning, it seemed like she was having a seizure, but then she flipped upside down as if it was something from The Conjuring and started running up the stairs upside down. What you don't see in this video is her actually chasing who's ever filming into their bedroom and having them lock the door, as she violently smacks the door screaming. My question to you guys is, are you gonna be more careful?
And let me say this, the reason why people like to fight or ends up fighting every time they get drunk, that is demonic spirits in the spiritual realm attacking you whenever you get drunk. And you feel the need to fight those demons back. But you don't know how to fight those demons back because you're vulnerable, because you're drunk. So instead of fighting those demons, they end up fighting actual people. So if you like that, when you get drunk, you end up fighting, or whenever you get drunk, you just want to fight somebody. Those are demons. When you get drunk, those demons are fighting you. Something clicks in your brain telling you to fight back. But you don't know how to fight back spiritually, so you end up fighting in the physical. People that sit there and get blackout drunk, and right after they get done drinking, they be ready to fight somebody. That's because those demons is fighting you. Something clicks in your brain, making you want to fight. And instead of you fighting back spiritually, which you can't fight back spiritually if you're drunk. That's a vulnerability. You can't fight spiritually, so you end up fighting somebody in the physical. Yeah. That's why the Bible says we can drink, but don't get drunk. And you're not supposed to drink that strong liquor. We can drink wine, but you're not supposed to be drinking that vodka and Hennessy and all that. We can drink, but don't get drunk. And you can only drink wine. Like when somebody get drunk, they black out and they just do a whole bunch of stuff. And whenever they sober up and you go to tell that person all the things that they did, they sit there and they be like, they don't remember. They don't remember because that was a demon that took over their body and possessed their body. Getting drunk, drinking all that liquor, shot after shot after shot after shot after shot, and then end up blacking out, fighting, or blacking out doing something. And then once you sober up, they don't remember nothing they did. They have no clue what they did. That's because, first of all, you're not supposed to get drunk. We can get tipsy, but you can't get drunk. So when people get blackout drunk and get to doing stuff that they can't remember, they don't remember, that is a demon that has possessed them, that has taken over. That's why when they sober up, they don't know what they did. They can't remember what they did last night. They can't remember what they did yesterday.
That's because that wasn't them. There was a demon that possessed their body. And that demon got access to your body when you do all that drinking, getting blackout drunk. The better you know, the better you know.
Can spirits of the deceased and demons enter you? They can when you give them an opening. This was really brought out in a case that occurred back in 1943 to a guy named George Ritchie. He's a psychiatrist, ended up being a psychiatrist. At the time, he was an Army recruit in Texas. And as a 20-year-old, he caught pneumonia, severe pneumonia. And 24 hours later, they came in and checked on him, and he had no pulse, no breathing. They declared him dead, put a cover over his face, and they thought that was it. But Ritchie told a different story, Dr. Ritchie. He said that while he was, quote, out for those 9 minutes or whatever it was, that he was taken by Jesus to various places in the afterlife and also places on earth. And one of the places on earth he was taken to was a bar. And he was shown in the bar by Jesus that there were all these spirits around everyone, all these soldiers as they were drinking. And it was like these spirits were deceased alcoholics and they were waiting for an opportunity to enter. And the more these soldiers were drinking, the more their spirit around them, or whatever you want to call it, would split above their head, wider and wider as they got drunker and drunker until one of them would enter. And you know how some people are a different person when they're drinking. And then we look at the reason why they call liquor spirits.
Alcohol. Alcohol is a direct doorway to, I'll use the word demonic influence, but look at how many families it ruins. It ruins everything.
Yeah.
It ruins everything. I'm not talking an occasional drink or a glass of wine. When you have an alcoholic, they abuse people, they talk back, they drive drunk, they kill children, they beat their wives, they ruin their marriages, they steal money, they do all kinds of stuff because it's not really them. They're taken over. And alcohol is known to do that.
Wow.
I don't drink either. You can tell I hate it, but so I could be biased. I'm not an addict. I'm just
no, but
don't
this
like
is so.
it.